Rise of Kingdoms just revealed the skills for the two season 2 ranged commanders coming to the game, that is Archimedes and Mary. They also revealed the new museum relic upgrades for some of the leadership commanders, new details about Supreme Strife, the Fountain of Dreams event, and much more. So today we're going to cover everything that was just revealed on the official Rise of Kingdoms YouTube channel. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Now, as you guys know, I am a partnered creator with Rise of Kingdoms, which means they support a few videos on the channel every single month, just like this one. But the most important support comes from you guys dropping that thumbs up and subscribing, because we're so close to 90,000. It's actually insane. Without further ado, let's take a look at the skills of Archimedes. First, his active skill, Giant of Geometry. It is a single target range requirement of 1,000 if this commander's troop is not within melee range of its target. So this means when you are attacking at ranged for the next 3 seconds, their troop takes 15% less ranged counterattack damage. Okay, that's cool. Whenever it launches a ranged basic attack, it deals extra ranged direct damage to the target with a damage factor of 400. Okay, so that's 400 times 3, right? It's 400 every second for 3 seconds, as long as you're still hitting a target the whole time. So that's 1,200 damage factor and a little bit of tankiness there. If their troop is within melee range of the target for the next 3 seconds, the troop deals 15% more counterattack damage. Whenever it launches a ranged basic attack, it deals extra ranged direct damage to the target with a damage factor of 600, so it bumps it up just a little bit. The second skill is Eureka. It says the commander siege units gain 15% health and 15% march speed. Okay, that's pretty good. That's just some vanilla stats there. Third skill says when in ranged mode, this commander's troop gains a bonus to damage dealt based on its distance from the target, ranging from 10% to melee to 15% max range. Wait, what? So this looks like an all damage bonus, but you only get 10% at melee, 15% from range. Okay, I mean, that's it's so interesting that it's such a small difference. Like, why not just make it 15 at all times? I don't know. The fourth skill, Claw of Archimedes. Whenever this commander's troop deals ranged direct damage, it has a 50% chance to inflict the following effect on the target for 4 seconds. They lose 10% march speed, and the target takes 50% more ranged basic attack damage with a cooldown of 6 seconds. That actually seems pretty solid. At first I was like, oh, 50-50 is not good, but it's going off of your ranged direct damage. So like when he fires his active skill, he gets 3 chances to pop this, and at 50% he's probably going to get it every skill cycle, and there's already a 6-second cooldown. So it's solid, but it's nothing crazy, I would say, especially with that cooldown. And also there's so many march speed reductions in the game now that like 10% is nothing. Even in kvk2 you have like Saladin and Richard the First, right? So yeah, I don't really know about that slowdown. It's not super powerful, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at the expertise here. This commander's troop takes 5% less damage. In addition, their siege units take 5% less damage from infantry, cavalry, and archer units. Okay, so I mean, very vanilla stuff here. I think that he has a lot of small amounts of tankiness on his kit. He deals a little bit of damage over time, a little bit of a debuff there. He has an all damage bonus. All in all, I would say Archimedes is middle of the pack, right? I mean, he's and I'm not a ranged player, so ranged players can chime in, but he doesn't seem like he's going to break the game, especially because he has engineering, versatility, and defense. So definitely leaning a bit more towards the tanky side. And again, he is a kvk2 commander, right? So we do not kind of expect him to be on the same level as the other legendary ranged commanders that we already have in the game, right? He was already out of the gate, he was kind of expected to be a little bit below the rest of the pack, kind of just like the first sort of ranged commanders you can get your hands on. So that's it, is what it is. Let's see that active skill. Let's see it. Oh, okay, he's got his little staff there. What up, Goose? Next, let's take a look at Mary the First, and her drip is absolutely insane. Mary looks so freaking sick. I don't know what they did to her hairline though, because that is diabolical. What have you done? Bloody Mary, yo, she's how I start my Sundays. That's crazy. So Mary is an engineering, versatility, and skill tree commander. Let's take a look at the active skill. Not gonna try to pronounce that. It is a 1,000 range requirement. It says if this commander's troop is not within melee range, so at ranged, the target takes ranged additional damage every second for 4 seconds. So wow, okay, both these commanders are damage over time, it looks like. If you are within melee range of the target, it takes additional range damage every second for 50 and takes 5% increased damage for 4 seconds. Okay, so very similar active skill, I would say. I mean this is additional damage, where Archimedes was like, I think, direct damage factor, right? So I don't know why they would change them, because like there are things that Archimedes procs based on direct damage factor, and this is I mean this is additional damage factor. So like already there's a little bit of lack of synergy, but we'll have to look at the rest of the kit. I have no idea. We have to take a look here, but this just seems, I mean, like, look, it's normally damage over time is pretty not good in Rise of Kingdoms, but when you're a ranged player, I mean, you're kind of always tapping something, right? If there's a big fight, of course if there's like, you know, not that much going on, then this is actually going to be pretty bad, I would say. But if there's a really big fight in front of you and you're stationed correctly, you're probably going to be hitting everything for those 4 seconds. But like at the end of the day, that's still 1200 damage factor. It is what it is. Second skill, 20% attack, 10% march speed. That's pretty good. Archimedes didn't have any attack on his kit, so here we've got a little bit of a boost there to the damage, which is nice. Sorry, bonus there to the damage. I did make a video covering the difference. If you missed that, check that out. A little bit of a march speed bonus there as well. Fire and faith. Now this is the expertise version, so I don't know if we're going to be able to see exactly what it does normally, but it says this commander's troop deals 15% more ranged skill damage if their target troop is currently receiving ranged additional damage. Ranged basic attacks from their troop have a 30% chance to extend the ranged additional damage by 1 second with a 7-second cooldown. So okay, it looks like we're looking at potentially a Mary primary, Archimedes secondary. Is that what I'm thinking here? Oh no, it's range basic attacks. I was thinking range direct damage. Sorry. Okay, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I mean still the skill tree is really solid here. So we've an hour's worth of server maintenance during my video. What is going on? Come on, man. How am I supposed to look at the talent trees if the game is down? Anyway, the fourth skill gives her 10% defense, and whenever this commander's troop uses an active skill while in ranged mode, it increases the target's ranged skill damage received by 10% for 3 seconds. So okay, again, I'm kind of confused here because she's mostly dealing additional damage, right? Ranged additional damage. So like, does this even apply to the active skill, or is this only supposed to be used for whoever she's paired with? I mean, it's 7:40 in the morning. I just woke up. Okay, so maybe I'm not thinking about this right, but that doesn't seem like it makes that much sense to have her based around additional damage when she's giving you bonuses to like skill damage, right? I don't know. All right, here we see what the third skill would have been: 10% range skill damage and 15% chance to extend it by 1 second. Okay, so yeah, it bumps it up from 10 to 15 and from 15% chance to 30% chance, right? So you're going to get a 5th turn of her active skill damage basically, so that bumps her active skill typically up to it looks like what, 1500, something like that. But we see a lot of like, look, just more range skill damage taken by the target, but she's dealing additional damage. So maybe I'm stupid, maybe this is like skill damage of all types, right? And it is what it is. But you guys can let me know in the comment section below. Either way, Mary and Archimedes at first glance as a player, for me, I'm in Season of Conquest, right? These commanders do not appear to be that much of a threat. They don't have that many stats. Their march speed is relatively low. Their boosts to skill damage and such is kind of slow, or small, I should say. They do damage over time. The damage isn't insane. So clearly they're made for season 2, right? They're clearly made for season 2. I don't know if we're really going to see them as a threat in Season of Conquest. That being said, maybe there's some crazy pairing that one of the siege mains is going to know about that can make these commanders at least worthwhile. But to me, I feel like if you're only running 1 or 2 sieged marches, you're probably not going to be rocking Mary or Archimedes. So it is what it is. I also think they've really sped up the amount of time in between those earlier KVKs. So I feel like the time between season 2 and season 3 or Season of Conquest isn't that much anymore, right? Like it's pretty quick to get into season 3 and Season of Conquest. And so like, I'm not sure why you would even invest in these commanders if they're not going to be meta in SOC, right? So that's kind of my thoughts here. Let's take a look at Mary's active skill, because they do show that off and she does look badass. So maybe she, oh, I actually really like that. It's just like this massive, like, is that like a bloody rose or something? It looks like a, yeah, it's like a rose that explodes. That looks super sick. That actually reminds me of, I'm an OG Yu-Gi-Oh player, so it reminds me of my girl Black Rose Dragon, bro. Oh my god, one of the absolute coolest synchro cards in the game. So sick. Moving on to the museum relic upgrades, we have the 3rd tier upgrade for Mulan, and we can see here that the skill damage reduction is increased. I think it was 15% prior to this, now it is 20%, so a very small upgrade for Mulan. But all in all, I mean, she's already going to be solid. And with Emperor Qin in the game right now, and there's just so much more skill damage, and we kind of know that archers are going to continue to be skill damage down the pipeline, I think there's a good chance that she stays somewhat relevant, at least in canon, right? so this makes her a little bit tankier in Canyon, and it is what it is. Next up, Julius Caesar gets a 5% bonus to all damage, so it goes from 20% all damage to 25% all damage. He keeps his 20% march speed. All in all, I mean, that's awesome, right? They could have given him even more march speed, and they chose to give him more all damage. Does he have enough all damage on his kit to really move the needle anyway? I don't think so, but we'll have to test and see in the future. Maybe there's some ways that we can break Julius Caesar's all damage bonus with some Season of Conquest commanders these days. But honestly, you know, if 20% all damage doesn't move the needle, is 25% all damage going to move the needle? Probably not, right? I would have liked to at least see 30 here just to see if we can like really break him, but they went with the safe route and they went with 25. Ragnar Prime gets more normal damage taken reduction. So prior he had 35% defense and 15% normal damage taken reduction, and they bumped that up to 20, and this is actually pretty good. Normal damage taken reduction is the stat that I was hoping that they would bump up here, because I mean, there's so much smite damage, there's so much combo damage in the game right now that, you know, reducing 20% of that is really nice. So again, maybe there's a way that we can break him with some Season of Conquest commander, but at the end of the day, I doubt it, because this still isn't that big of a deal. And then finally, Ned has 40% troop health and 10% skill damage. So all in all, I think, you know, either way for Ned, no matter what they did here, I was gonna like the upgrade. But I mean, damn dude, 40% health, that is more health than like Philip as an archer commander, right? Like Philip paired with archers gives you 35% health. Mehmed gives you 40, right? Now the downside of Mehmed is there's no march speed there, and his active skill is relatively weak, but I mean, dude, he still gives you 30% skill damage and 40% health to whoever you want, plus you bring 10% more troops to the battlefield, and his active skill is kind of just like an added bonus, right? You just get a little active skill every once in a while. Like, I don't know, man, like Mehmed is like low-key still a solid budget build, especially at 5511. I mean, think about that, right? At 5511 you get a small 5-target AoE, you get what, 20% attack, 30% skill damage, 40% health. Like it's just so insane for a 5511. My question is though, where's the Frederick relic, right? Where is the Barca relic? Like if we're updating these leadership commanders, why aren't we doing more upgrades to the other leadership commanders? Like why did they pick these 4 commanders specifically? I feel like they're already like really taking their time with releasing these relics, and so I just don't really understand why it's taking so long, especially because these buffs aren't like crazy, right? Like going from tier 2 to tier 3, like for none of these is it really going to move the needle that much. I think Mehmed is the one that matters the most. Mulan will see the most play in Canyon, but like I don't know, I feel like they should pump these out a little bit faster, because I mean, why not just give us like new little things to play with, make us test these things out. I don't know. Here we have the Fountain of Dreams event, and this is one of the events during the patch notes that I was a little bit confused on, because they basically just said that you're gonna have a chance to like win some cosmetics, and I didn't really understand what the event was. But here you can see that there is a ton of nautical themed things that you can get through wishes, and it looks like it's like you're randomly pulling it. Now this theme, or I should say this like animation with the jellyfish and the waves, that looks absolutely sick. I actually think that the theme of this itself is incredible. I am such a sucker for tropical environments, especially in my video games at like Mario levels. My favorite ones are the tropical ones. That's why I like Mario Sunshine. I really liked Pokemon Sun and Moon, so like all the tropical things I love, and so like I'm really excited to see if I could possibly get my hands on these. Here we have, it looks like you can get 30 of them at a 50% discount, and then beyond that you have 1400. So my assumption is that the pull rate for these things is going to be pretty low. Yes, okay, so we have very limited time ones here, so Sea Labyrinth and Rising Tides for 3 days. The main thing you're going to get is dream tickets here, okay? And here we have the reward odds. So Neptune's Tapestry is a 0.08% drop rate, which is actually crazy. 10 Monsteras for 1%. That's so funny. Oh my god, I love the Captain Shark too. Like that's actually really cool. Deep Sea Memories, oh god, okay, so yeah, that's actually insane. A vast majority of what you're getting is the dream tickets here, okay? Now the dream tickets can be used to just straight up buy whatever you want, so okay, there's a chance that you get what you want, I guess, from pulling, but it doesn't say like what is the pull. Here's the 3-day ones. Okay, I got it. Okay, so there is a difference between the permanents and the 3 days. So okay, there is a guaranteed way that you can get these things, but also if you don't care about any of the cosmetics, you can just go straight for speed ups, which is great, and some resources. So okay, this is a new, oh, that actually looks super sick. Oh man, whoa, what was that? Is that a profile theme? Oh no, that's the user interface. Wait, how does that work? What? I'm guessing the blue is where the gameplay is going to be, so you'll just have like the nautical theme around it. That'll probably get annoying during war, but otherwise I actually really like that a lot. I think the whale song, yeah, that's really cool. I don't know, I mean, I'm less excited about cosmetics these days than I have in the past, but at the same time, like, these do look really high quality, and this is just a new way to get your hands on things. And so if you care about it, then great. If you don't care about it, you could just get resources and speed ups. Here we have a 5-day login event as well that gives you some of those the little clam key coin things. Here it looks like they show off march line thickness, so you could do thin, medium, or thick. And it says select which march lines you want to display: your troops, allied troops. I suspect enemy troops is going to be down here somewhere, but they don't scroll enough for us to actually see. But all in all, I'm actually excited for that. And they also go over the combat optimizations about not being able to gain rage when you're not in combat. Oh yes, here we see, okay, enemy troops, aligned troops, allied troops. Got it. Okay, so that's what thin looks like, that's what thick looks like, and you could just turn them off. Oh my god, dude, this is so good. This is like such a small thing that I'm so excited about. I absolutely, especially when you like are using filter mode and you like turn your allied or your alliance troops into like the little blue dots, they almost look like the march lines, right? And so this is just going to help so much with that. I'm so stoked. Here you can see they also changed the rapid march. This is exactly what I explained in the actual update video, so if you missed that, definitely check it out. We'll go a little bit more in depth with a lot of things. Next, they revealed the exact return ratios for when you dismantle legendary equipment. Now I know that this was a big topic of discussion in the most recent update patch notes, so let's take a look here. Okay, here is exactly what you're going to get if you dismantle. It says most equipment can be dismantled into materials. Got it. The only exception there I think is like Trial of the Lost Kingdom, I think, but I'm not really sure. Dismantling equipment will not return any blueprints. Got it, we knew that. Equipment and blueprints cannot be dismantled. Okay, dismantling equipment will return a portion of the materials used to forge it. Okay, so common equipment, this is your gray stuff, you get 100% back. We already knew that. The green stuff you get 100% back, the blue stuff you get 100% back, and the purple stuff you get 100% back. All of that has always been the case. Okay, so you get a 100% return on dismantling purple and lower. If you have a legendary piece of equipment and you dismantle it, you get 50% back. That has also always been the case, which is the main thing people have been complaining about. However, legendary equipment with a special talent, you will get 100% materials returned for the crafting of that piece. So here you could see they are showing off a special talented dagger, right? It is a cavalry dagger here, and if they dismantle this, they will get 82 for each of the materials acquired. And now what's not shown here is that on top of the 100% forging cost, you're also going to get 50% of the awakening cost back. Okay, now awakening, as you guys know, is adding iconic upgrades to it, right? And this is a really big improvement. Right now it's not perfect, because what I'm assuming, and like this is a little bit of my assumption, right? You get a 100% return of the forge cost, but I don't think you get anything back for the refine cost, right? So let's say you had to refine it 4 times before you got that special talent. I don't think you get any of that back, right? It's just whatever the actual first ever forge was, you'll get all of that back, plus you'll get 50% back for all of your awakenings, right? And this might be, and I guess we'll have to test it in game to see exactly, right, what do they mean by forge? Do they mean just the, I mean, I assume that is literally just the forging, right? Like there is a distinction between forging spent, refined spent, and awakening spent, right? And so when they say forge, they probably mean literally just the initial forge cost, right? I don't think that you get anything back for the refining. So this is a small improvement, but this is also yet another reason why doing some of the iconic upgrades is better at first, right? It is better to do the iconic upgrades first in case at some point down the line you have to dismantle it. Well, I don't think you're going to get anything back for all the refines that you do, but you will get 50% back for the awakenings, although I guess without the special talent then you're only going to still get 50% back for the forge. So yeah, this is I would say a small step in the right direction for dismantling legendaries. If you're using legendaries that do not have a special talent, I don't think anything has changed for you, that at least according to this, it's still 50%. And I do think that the 50% return for the awakening has also already been a thing in the game, right? So yeah, I mean, right now I would double check, but I can't check because there's still 31 minutes left on the server maintenance. Now we also have a bunch of holiday events coming. This is the Sea Stride Song. The Sacred Sanctuary is an obtainable city theme here. The other ones look like they've been in the game already. I don't think this one's been in the game, but maybe it has been. I'm not really sure. We have Esmeralda Despair Collection, Arms Training, and Tempest Clash. None of that is new, so I'm going to skip that, and we're going to take a look at the Supreme Strife details here, because I know that a lot of people are kind of looking forward to Supreme Strife. This is going to be a new sort of weekend game mode that you can play and fight with people in other kingdoms, and let's take a look. So here you can form a pact here, which we covered already in the previous video. You can form a union with up to 4 other packs. It only takes 5 minutes to form or dissolve unions between packs. Okay, how long does it take to form a pact? Pacts have no special officer titles. All pact officers have the same authority. At the end of the Supreme Strife, pacts are disbanded. Pacts do not have an alliance shop, resource assistance. The alliance helps, or alliance skills. Okay, got it. So it's literally just a group of people. That's it. Building a pact flag does not cost any alliance resources, but you can only have up to 200 pact flags at a time. You do have to qualify for the Strife, it looks like. At the end of the registration period, top 64 pacts by total power in your server region, international or China, will qualify for Supreme Strife. The Supreme Strife consists of multiple rounds of matches with 8 packs in each. 4 packs with the most points at the end of each match will advance to the next round. 45 starters, 5 reserve members. Okay, the starter limit will increase by 5 every round, and the increased reserve will increase by 5 in the final round. Each Supreme Strife match will last for 4 hours. There will be 1 round of matches per week. Okay, at the end of each round there will be a 2-day preparation period. If your pact was eliminated, you can use this time to join an advancing pact. Okay, if you migrate, you're going to be removed from the current pact, by the way, so keep that in mind. There are 5 supreme sites on the map, 1 supreme spire at the center and 4 supreme circles, of course, just like most, king's lands, I guess. Occupy them to learn points. At the end of each map, the top 4 packs will advance to the next round. Got it. Okay, here's the battlefield rules. Construction for flags is increased by 350% and isn't affected by the number of governors building it. That's pretty good news. I'm gonna build these like crazy. The durability of all pact flags is fixed at 1,000. Pact flags take only 450 seconds to burn, so 7.5 minutes to burn a flag. The cooldown for extinguishing flags is reduced to 3 minutes. Let's take a look at the casualties. Okay, severely wounded units. Upon returning to the city, all sev wounds are instantly healed at no cost. Really good stuff there. In field battles, 40% of sev wounds will be instead killed. Wow. Okay, so you're just gonna get freaking murdered, dude. That's crazy. So now I don't remember exactly what the formula is when you're fighting in the open field. Some portion of your injured units become slightly wounded, some become severely wounded, right? I don't know exactly what that breakdown is, but whatever percentage of your wounded units are severely wounded, 40% of those are going to be killed. That's wild. Okay, Supreme Site battles. In Supreme Circle battles, 100% of sev wounds on both sides will be killed. In Supreme Spire battles, 100% of sev wound units on both sides will be killed. Okay, so basically if you're fighting at the Supreme Sites, all of your there's no such thing as sev wounds. You're just dying. Okay, in pact flag battles, 100% of sev wounds on both sides will instead be killed. Actually insane. At the end of each match, a percentage of your dead units in the Hall of Legends will be returned to you. All combatants can use the Hall of Legends, but you can recover extra units by using Supreme Return Scrolls or by purchasing the Supreme Soldier bundle. I called it, bro. I called it. You saw my update video where I said, oh, I hope you're not gonna be able to buy units with that, and here we go. You just buy back your dead units. That's crazy. Okay, so base resurrection is 5 million units. Supreme Soldier, so I guess if you max the bundle, you'll get another 5 million back, and then you get 10,000 for each scroll of resurrection that you use. So you're gonna have a lot of dead troops from this, to be honest with you. So the benefit is that there's no your sev wounds, there's no speed up cost or resource cost to heal them, but a lot of your troops aren't going to be sev wounds. They're going to be deads, which is actually insane. Wow, that is wild. All right, here's the map. We have the 8 spawn points, as you can see, 2 on each side. We have the 4 circles, and then we have the spire in the middle. Of course, like I said, very similar to a King's Land battle here. Okay, here's some other buffs here. All troops gain 50% march speed. All troops deal 50% more damage and gain 40% attack. Field troops deal 20% more damage to rallied armies. Troop gains 50% troop capacity. Rallied armies gain 50% unit capacity. Hospital capacity increased by 100. So this is basically like just maxed attack, right? I mean, before we had 42.5% attack, but even still, like you basically just have max tech here. Plus the KVK bonus was 40, now it's 30, but even still, yeah, with all damage, I mean, it's actually kind of crazy, because not only are you taking field deads, but you're going to be taking a lot of damage, boys. Like, that's crazy. crazy. Unless there is a critical issue with the game or servers during a match, the results of the match will be deemed final. They basically are just like, yo, do not come to us with your drama, don't come to us with your BS, don't come to us with this or that. It is what it is. You lost, get over it, GG. That's it's funny that they put that in the competition rules. Officials reserve the right to end the match at any time. Wow, okay. They also reserve a right to a redo if it was not ended despite the occurrence of a critical issue. Okay, I mean, it's good because like there's going to be so many dead troops on the line here that they kind of need to have at least that, right? Spirit of fair competition, display sportsmanlike conduct. Yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, guys, this is Rise of Kingdoms we're talking about, so sportsmanlike conduct, I don't know, like, have you ever been in Lost Kingdom chat, y'all? I swear they should just delete that. But anyway, if one of your packed opponents is found to have displayed unsportsmanlike conduct in a match but your pack did not, your pack's members will still receive pack rewards for your match. If your pack is found to have displayed unsportsmanlike conduct in your match, your pack members will not receive pack rewards. Wow, okay, that's crazy. They should do that for KVK as well. Like, if you're in Lost Kingdom chat too much, they should just take your rewards away. Just nope, sorry, find a new game to play. Neither of you will receive rewards. That's crazy. All right, so here are the rewards that you're fighting for. There's an exclusive mystery city theme. We have an exclusive title, which looks absolutely sick. We have a fire march effect, it looks like, which is wild. You have the really cool teleport effect, which looks super sick. The avatar frame looks incredible here. And you also get a bunch of gems. You also get a city name plaque as well, 20 legendary commander sculptures. So I mean, these are like, oh, these are only 60 days. So the city skin looks like it's permanent, but everything else is only 60 days. Wow, okay, that's really, really interesting, considering that you might get a lot of dead troops for this. And then we have some advancing rewards as well. So we have 10,000 of whatever this currency is. I guess maybe there's a shop or something that you can use that currency on. I'm not really sure, but anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for the update video. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. What do you think about the two new season 2 ranged commanders, Archimedes and Mary, coming to Rise of Kingdoms? What do you think about the museum buffs? What do you think about everything else that is coming with this update? Let me know in the comment section below, and while you're down there, make sure you drop a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel a ton. It helps get this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other Rise of Kingdoms players might see it, and consider subscribing to the channel. We are so close to 90,000 subscribers. Click that bell if you want to be notified the next time I upload Rise of Kingdoms breaking news. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.